Number 5. Jemaker Thompson. Jemaker Thompson Hairston, a fascinating person in American criminal history, rose to prominence as a narcotics dealer during the 1980s crack epidemic that ravaged the country. She developed a tremendous narcotics enterprise in the rough neighborhoods of south-central Los Angeles, organizing a network of distributors spanning many cities. Thompson's involvement with the trade began in her childhood. At the young age of 8, she witnessed the brutal reality of poverty when she and her mother were evicted from their flat, leaving their belongings strewn outside. This watershed incident fueled Thompson's drive to gain power and accumulate wealth. She excelled in track and field when she was just a high school student. She fell in love with Anthony Daff Mosley, a narcotics dealer. Thompson, eager to prove herself, began collecting money on his behalf. Thompson became involved with narcotics while still in high school. Surprisingly, she began selling 3 to 4 kilograms of the illegal substances each week. Thompson and Daff married in 1980 and started dealing together. Thompson and her husband acquired a beautiful mansion in Encino, California, while her company grew. Their lifestyles appeared to mirror the trappings of prosperity. Daff, on the other hand, was mercilessly slain. Agents from the DEA, also known as Drug Enforcement Administration, who had been watching Thompson's operations, expected her illegal organization to fall in the aftermath of her husband's death. Thompson surprised everyone by making a stunning recovery. Thompson extended her activities in 1984 by hiring distributors countrywide and developing direct links with Colombian manufacturers. Her relentless desire drove her to start an apparently genuine firm specializing in hair distribution and selling wigs and hair extensions. While Thompson said it was a legitimate business, police felt it was a ruse to launder her narcotics money. When Thompson's business partner, Percy "Cheese" Bratton, was captured with a large amount of narcotics in his hands, and the tide shifted against her. Bratton negotiated a bargain with investigators in order to provide the evidence required to indict Thompson. Thompson proceeded on a frantic escape in order to avoid arrest. However, at the age of 31, she was captured during her son's 6th grade graduation ceremony. Thompson was charged with many counts of money laundering and conspiracy to distribute narcotics. She was convicted after being indicted and began serving a 15-year jail sentence. Thompson's compelling narrative captivated the media and the general public. In fact, she was featured in an episode of the 2nd season of Netflix's Drug Lords. Thompson's astonishing climb and the millions she gained in the perilous trade were explored in the episode, which aired on July 10, 2018. She desired to be in charge of her own fate, which led her down a road that transformed her into an infamous drug lord. Number 4. Maria Licciardi. In the vibrant city of Naples, a magnificent lady evolved as a force to be reckoned with amidst the violent feuds of the organized criminal clans. Maria Licciardi, a Neapolitan lady in her late 40s, rose to prominence within the Secondigliano clan, cementing her position during a turbulent era in the late 1990s. Licciardi's rise to prominence corresponded with a shift in gender dynamics within the Camorra, since she was born in the Secondigliano neighborhood of Naples in 1951. Women like Licciardi came up to fill the leadership hole left by male members who were arrested, imprisoned, or slain, breaking customary norms. While some mafia women helped their husbands by packing narcotics, Licciardi went above and beyond the traditional obligations of a matriarch. She demonstrated that she could make threats, extort money, and supervise transactions just as well as any guy. Licciardi was raised in the complicated environment of the Camorra. Her father was a clan chief, therefore, she received a thorough grasp of the syndicate's activities. When her 2 brothers and husband were jailed, Licciardi took advantage of the situation to assume command of the Secondigliano family. Her domain became managing street workers, narcotics trafficking, cigarette smuggling, and extortion. She commanded respect and debated with male Camorra leaders, demonstrating her knowledge and influencing their choices. During her leadership, Licciardi accomplished great success by convincing the Camorra's feuding factions to choose profit over violence. She called for unity, emphasizing that collaboration would result in better profits for all parties concerned. For a short time, peace reigned in Naples as competing gangs put aside their differences. However, a consignment from Istanbul triggered a deadly clash. Recognizing the threat the contaminated medications posed, Lardi ordered their return. However, a competing clan ignored her edict, resulting in the terrible and violent actions of several addicts. The resulting exposure broke the tenuous relationship Lardi had fought so hard to forge. Rival clans rose up against her clan, sparking a brutal series of conflicts. Lardi launched her own wave of retribution in retaliation to the attacks. She is accused of organizing an operation that took the lives of about 30 individuals, proving that her small size belied her cruelty. With unyielding resolve, she directed her shooters to commit atrocities, leaving a path of bloodshed in her wake. Neapolitan police issued an arrest order for Lardi in 1999. During a raid, they were able to apprehend 13 mafia bosses, but Lardi escaped and went into hiding. It wasn't until 2001 that she was captured by police. Lardi's reign of terror ended when she was apprehended during a routine traffic stop outside of Naples. Lardi has been imprisoned since her capture. Her once dominant authority has diminished, but her reputation is written in the pages of Camorra's history. Number 3. Enedina Arellano Felix. Enedina Arellano Felix de Toledo is a name that frightens people involved in the Mexican narcotics trade. Enedina was born on April 12, 1961, into a prominent family of narcotics dealers, making her fate appear predetermined. What distinguishes Enedina from her siblings is her astonishing climb to prominence as the famed Tijuana cartel's leader, breaking barriers as one of the only women to run a criminal organization. Enedina's adventure into the crime syndicate began in Mazatlan, Sinaloa. She aspired to be the Mazatlan Carnival Queen when she was 16 years old. Her ambitions were dashed, however, when her brothers, Ramon and Benjamin, became sought after by both the Mexican and U.S. governments. Enedina enrolled at a private institution in Guadalajara, where she excelled academically and finished with a bachelor's degree in accounting, determined to pursue her own path. Enedina secretly joined the family company in the mid-1980s, working behind the scenes as the authorities concentrated on her brothers. The Tijuana cartel was under their control, although Enedina didn't come to public attention until the year 2000, when a financial genius inside the organization was killed. She became the cartel's backbone thanks to her competence in money laundering and financial management. Enedina's leadership position was cemented in 2008, following the arrest of her brother Eduardo. With most of her siblings either in prison or deceased, she grabbed the chance to take over the Tijuana cartel, an extraordinary step in a male-dominated environment. Enedina, known for her business-like vision, attempted to change the cartel's violent reputation into a more planned and measured approach. Enedina, unlike her brothers, preferred to form relationships with other criminal organizations rather than resort to deadly violence. This adjustment in tactics garnered her the respect and adoration of the cartel's members, as well as the attention of international law enforcement organizations like the Drug Enforcement Administration. She became a trendsetter, demonstrating that women could lead criminal businesses just as well as men. The importance of Enedina to the Tijuana cartel cannot be overstated. The organization has evolved, survived, and even prospered under her guidance. Attempts by the Mexican authorities to dissolve the cartel have met with tremendous resistance, owing in large part to Enedina's strategic skill. She has broken cultural expectations by questioning the concept that criminal leadership is only reserved for men. Number 2. Rosetta Kouto. Rosetta Kouto was a lady whose influence and power in the Italian criminal underground were as mysterious as her piercing ice eyes. Rosetta Kouto, Raffaele Coutolo's sister, was born in January 1937 and was the legendary head of the Nuova Camorra Organizzata, an organization that intended to restructure and revitalize the Camorra. Rosetta, in contrast to her colorful and attention-seeking brother, preferred a quiet and simple existence. She lived in Ottaviano near Naples for years, caring for her roses while living with her mother. However, underneath her modest exterior was an unstoppable power. Rosetta became the primary force behind her brother's operations, carefully delivering his commands from his jail cell and cultivating his devoted supporters outside. Rosetta remained in the shadows as Raphael made headlines with his scandalous interviews and courtroom statements. She was known as Wocchie e Ghiaccio, or Ice Eyes, for her sharp mind for numbers and her ability to bargain with South American barons. Her bold effort to blow up a police station nearly missed, solidifying her image as a powerful person. Her story was even the inspiration for the film Il Camorrista, which added a glamorous touch to her mystery image. Rosetta took part in a high-level conference between the Sicilian mafia and the Camorra clans in a spectacular display of power and influence. Rosetta, together with Raffaele Cutolo's devoted follower, Vincenzo Casillo, played a critical role in establishing the crime scene. The authorities' pursuit of Rosetta culminated in October 1981 when cops stormed her hideout. Kouto snuck away beneath a rug, hidden in a vehicle driven past checks by the neighborhood priest. This brazen deed kept her out of the public spotlight for more than a decade, while she oversaw activities from a network of safe homes spread across various cities. Rosetta made an unexpected decision in February 1993, surrendering to authorities when her refuge was identified. She declared, "I am tired of being a fugitive," and thus terminated her self-imposed exile. Rosetta suffered the weight of her brother's criminal business after being condemned in absentia to 9 years in jail on mafia affiliation charges. She was later reduced to 5 years despite the charges, but she managed to persuade the authorities of her innocence by projecting an unpretentious and frumpy attitude. Her brother, Raffaele Kouto, maintained that Rosetta was unaware of his illicit activity and just complied with his orders. He said she was never a camorrista, but rather an obedient sister who delivered money to convicts as directed. While the reality of her role may never be known, it is clear that Raphael attempted to safeguard her innocence, assuring the continuity of his empire even while imprisoned. Number 1. Anna Vassilyevna Chapman. One name stands out for its mystery and fascination in the pages of international espionage: Anna Vassilyevna Chapman. Anna Vassilyevna Kushchenko was born in Kharkiv on February 23, 1982. Chapman's upbringing pointed to her susceptibility to intrigue. Her father, Vasily Kushchenko, purportedly served as the Russian ambassador to Kenya and held a key post in the KGB. He currently has a prominent post within the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. With such ties, Chapman looked destined to traverse the perilous realm of intelligence. Chapman's fate changed dramatically in the United States. She obtained British citizenship through marriage and used it as a stepping stone to establishing residence in the United States. Her true aims, however, were far from common. Chapman was charged with spying for the Russian Federation's foreign intelligence service called Sluzhba Vneshne Razvedki. Her arrest on June 27, 2010, was a dramatic exposé of the Illegals program, a Russian spy network operating on American territory. There are many reports which claim that Chapman worked with a network of others until she was lured into a trap at a Manhattan coffee shop by an undercover FBI agent. The FBI agent handed Chapman a false passport and told her to send it on to another spy. "Are you ready for this step?" he inquired, to which Chapman answered, "Of course." She took the passport. However, following a series of phone conversations with her father, Vasily Kushchenko, in Moscow, Chapman followed his advice and surrendered the passport to a local police station. She was arrested not long after. The arrest of Chapman shocked the intelligence community and captured the public's attention. She pleaded guilty to conspiring to operate as a foreign government agent, admitting to her role in clandestine operations to obtain sensitive information. In an unusual turn of events, Chapman and her fellow Russian agents were deported to Russia as part of the historic swap on July 8, 2010. The 10 Russian spies were returned to their motherland as part of the largest swap since 1986. Chapman's unexpected return to Russia gave her enormous fame, catapulting her into the spotlight as a television personality and model. Chapman pursued a variety of interests once she returned to her birthplace. She became a government official, leading a youth council and providing support for several programs. Her fascination, however, did not end there. Chapman also pursued a modeling career, dazzling the catwalks of Russian fashion events with her engaging style and attractive personality. Her participation in the media business extended beyond modeling. Chapman took up the challenge of hosting her own television show, solidifying her position as a famous figure in Russian pop culture. Chapman's arrest and subsequent ascent to fame drew a lot of media attention. Her stunning beauty, along with her ties to the Russian Federation, earned her the nickname the Red Under the Bed from various media publications. Magazines and blogs analyzed her fashion choices and sense of style, and tabloids couldn't get enough action figures modeled after her. She became a frequent guest at upscale New York City clubs and restaurants, adding to the public's interest in her luxurious lifestyle.